welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now, the only show on Indian television right now where you, the MSME entrepreneur, get center stage. This is ET Now's special daily initiative to give MSME entrepreneurs the opportunity to be front and center on every industry that matters to you. Tonight on Direct Connect, we're bringing you a panel of experts who are answering in your questions sent to us earlier. And on Small Giants tonight, we'll bring you the story of Jyoti Chedda Mehendi and Batios. On Direct Connect tonight, Sajid Fazalbhoy, Principal at Blume Ventures, and Manish Bansal, CEO of SME Value Advisors, answering in your questions sent to us earlier. Take a look. Sajid, Manish, thank you both as always for being here tonight. Let's take in our first query. This is coming to us from the line of Atul Kumar. Atul, what's your question for our experts?
We offer responsive websites specifically catering to small business. Over the past 19 years that we have been in website business, our one important observation has been the complete lack of awareness by small business in India of the importance of having a professional web presence with their own website. My question is how to make small business understand in this digital era that a website is an important medium of business promotion in Indian and global market.
All right, thanks very much for that question, Atul. The failure to really understand having a web portal, having a digital system in place, the use of technology for MSMEs, a lot of questions that we get very often from our viewers. What would you gentlemen have to say?
So I would like to in fact say something to the opposite of that. The previous generation of entrepreneurs, like shopkeepers for example, have their old school businesses that don't want to change. But when their kids join their business, they understand the threat of online. They understand that they need to be sort of in the current scenario, right? So they need to make themselves relevant, right? So these people do feel threatened by it. We have a company that in fact goes and gets these people online, builds websites for them. There is this fear for sure, and people do realize they need to be online to be relevant today.
Okay, so the younger generation is driving that change.
Absolutely.
See, Sunanda, I would doubt that people will not understand the value of going online today. There are a lot of people who are mushrooming and trying to help small businesses get online. And I think he has to just, and he has been in the business for 19 years. I note that part, which is pretty long. So he would have built a relationship. He should ask his existing customers to give some more references. So there are opportunities and then maybe interact with the people more. That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay, so Atul, that's in response to your question. Use the existing base that you have of clients to understand the changes and to also get them to perhaps give you, new references is one of the suggestions coming in from our experts for you. Let's take in our next query coming in to us from Himanshu Single. Himanshu has written in to us, and at the end of this episode, we'll tell you how you can write into us and how you can get in touch with us on social media to send us your questions. Himanshu says he's a web hosting services provider. His question today for our experts is that it is difficult to jump from his current position of business to a new level for faster growth. I assume finance would be one of the ways in which he can overcome those challenges if he's looking at expansion.
Not only, right? I mean, I think
one of the challenges.
A lot of the entrepreneurs here need to understand what it takes to be relevant currently, right? Now, we know Amazon is in web hosting, right? So why would you be in a business that competes with somebody who's probably one of the largest companies in the world, right? Find a space.
But that would mean most industries and businesses in India if you're not competing with
No, but yes and no, right? But Amazon gives stuff for free, right? So how do you compete with that? You can open an account for free in Gmail, right? So it doesn't make sense to do something, to go head on with a company that's offering stuff as free, especially a very, very large company. So web hosting as a business, I think would have been relevant maybe in the 90s and early 2000s, but definitely not today.
Okay, so then what is your suggestion to him? Move out of it?
My suggestion would be find something a bit more relevant.
Okay, so move out of that business if you feel it is not working, especially something like this, which in some sense is redundant is the sense I get from you. Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, Himanshu, you are in a very difficult industry, like our experts are saying. You have large global peers who have the kind of purse strings that you perhaps as a small entrepreneur will not be able to. So do look at other businesses or areas that you may be able to expand into is the suggestion from our experts for you tonight. Our next question is coming to us from R. Ramamurthy. He's written in to us on Twitter to say that he's a media company making television serials. He's talking about the popular notion of innovation using things like robotics, etc., which will create a lot of changes in the present system of working. How can we implement this technique in the present system of working? And there seems to be a lot of innovation of late in digital media companies that are doing something different, using, you know, robotics, using heavily social media. But specifically to him, what would you have to say?
There are companies, global companies, that develop best-in-class technologies. Because he's a small company, try and rent this equipment in India and use it for your development of your content.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot of innovation happening. Keep your eye on it. And also, you were saying look at perhaps maybe hiring of equipment and not necessarily.
Yeah. So the sharing economy is well known, right? You can Uber is a huge example of contractors, so to speak. The sharing economy, you can rent apartments, you can do all kinds of things without actually, I read a survey recently, but all the large companies in the world today don't really have assets, right? They're all lead generators today. So this is very, very well understood, and businesses need to understand the beauty of being asset light.
Okay. So asset light is what is being recommended for you. Look at whether you can possibly hire this equipment if you're looking at the latest technology. Our next query is coming to us from Sanjeev Datta. Sanjeev has written into us on our email ID. He says he's in the hospitality industry, involved in hotels, camping sites and provision of short stay accommodation. He says his business has taken a hit because of the market sentiment due to no cash flow. Whatever money is there is stuck in the pipeline. Keeping GST aside, he says, how can we get our money back and expand business?
Well, I'm not too sure about this, because I think that there are companies who do experiential stuff and they are widely available, and this is a sort of localized sort of business, because if you're in a certain area providing river rafting or providing, you know, gliding or things like that. So it probably makes sense to talk to his current customers and ask them what their likes and dislikes are, and become a lead gen of sorts. Identify people in different parts of the country or overseas that are providing these goods and services that people enjoy, and go and try and be a lead and try and get you connect your existing customer base to some of these people who are actually these vendors doing these services.
But clearly he has two problems right now. One is the recovery he's talking, and second is talking about expansion. If I were to choose one, I would essentially say first focus on recovery.
Get the money back.
Get the money back first, and we talk about the expansion part later. That's the only thing I will tell him.
Okay, so look very carefully then at your business. If there are some money which is stuck, NPAs, etc., just take a close look at that and look at the recoverables, basically, is what our experts are suggesting for you. Our last query tonight is coming to us from the line of Umesh Gupta. Umesh?
Now, one issue that we have been facing, and not just me, but a lot of other small companies, is a mail or a call from Microsoft where they claim that we are misusing their licenses. Now, it is quite strange, because we get these calls every 2-3 months, and every time we try and satisfy them by sending them some details, and they threaten us with legal action, and they threaten us with audits. Now, I keep wondering that what is the veracity of these claims, and whether they can actually threaten us with these audits all the time. And if that is the case, then we as IT product companies can't we also go ahead and audit them? Because in that case, they just keep quiet. It will be great if some light can be thrown on the same.
Okay, that's very unfortunate that you know, service providers of consulting and implementation services, you were talking about AWS earlier, Microsoft, for instance, as what I presume he's talking about. What would you have to say?
Well, I think it's up to the manufacturer now. The security is a huge problem, and it's a huge theme. A lot of companies are built around security now. So I know for a fact that a lot of companies are in fact focused on taking away malware and things like that to ensure that there is integrity of their own software. So I think this will get solved over a period of time, and those days of having pirated software will probably go away soon. This will get solved itself by some.
Okay.
I don't think he has anything in his control here. He has to only accept what's happening around.
Absolutely.
And probably educate his clients and customers even more about why they shouldn't use fraudulent, outdated software. All right. Thank you both very much, Sajid, Manish, for coming here and running our viewers through the best answers for all the questions that have come in. All right, time for a break then, here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on Small Giants. On the other side, we'll bring you the story of Jyoti Chedda Mehendi and Batios. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on Small Giants, we're bringing you the story of Jyoti Chedda Mehendi and Batios. Mehendi has been used by women since the start of time to make themselves feel beautiful. But what does it take to stand out in this fragmented and competitive market? Pooja Jain caught up with one of Mumbai's most highly sought after Mehendi artists to find out. Take a look.
The magic of Mehendi dates back to the Mughal era, which is not to say that its application and aura hasn't evolved. But putting a new age twist on an age-old tradition is perhaps what has set Jyoti Chedda Mehendi apart from her contemporaries. We explored how a Mehendi artist's hands-on approach to harnessing innovative design concepts has helped a business blossom into a brand. Applying Mehendi is a tradition that's been preserved for generations. That said, as entrepreneurs in the space, have you witnessed a so-called modernization when it comes to Mehendi?
Mehendi was introduced in India by the Mughals, and as we all know that Indian culture is famous for its adapting nature. Indian culture adapted Mehendi in its own way, added its own color, and today Mehendi is an integral part of Indian culture and tradition. It is being put on women's hand since olden days on all auspicious occasions including fast, Karwa Chauth, Diwali, and it has become an integral part of marriage ceremony.
Mehendi is natural, it is affordable, its color looks great on every skin tone. People put Mehendi for all good occasions. This is the reason why it has been preserved from generations to generations.
And I think one more underlying factor of Mehendi being so popular is its evolution. Mehendi has evolved, its preparation time, its application style and its design. Everything has evolved.
You mentioned that you've witnessed an influx in level of detail when it comes to Mehendi design. So what's trending this festive season?
Mehendi today is more detailed, more intricate and more customized than ever before. Let me walk through some of the exclusive Mehendi what we offer at Jyoti Chedda Mehendi Art. Number 1 is Indo-Arabic style, that is a reflection of two cultures. Number 2 is a Meenakari Mehendi, that is inspired from the Taj Mahal. Number 3 is figurative Mehendi, where we have used the Radha Krishna themes, Ras Leela themes, Fera Varmala themes for the bridal Mehendi. Next is floral fusion Mehendi, where we use the 3 different kind of variety to do one kind of Mehendi.
And because of all this customized trend that we offer, we are equally popular in all age group and people all over the world, be it Indian or non-Indian origin.
How seasonal is this business ultimately, and how do you plan for fluctuation in demand?
In off-season, we work even harder. We conduct the market research on the latest trends in Mehendi design. We upgrade our staff skills so that they can perform up to the mark.
And I don't think Mehendi is seasonal at all. As Indians, we are blessed with calendars of festival throughout the year. When a woman puts Mehendi on her palm, people take notice of her. One satisfied customer becomes a repeated customer, and we are there to celebrate each occasion of our life, be it engagement, marriage, baby shower, silver jubilee or golden jubilee.
You've adopted a hybrid business model in that beyond offering your services as a Mehendi artist, you also offer in-house courses and certification to other aspiring Mehendi artists. This is somewhat of an unconventional business decision. How has this strategy served you in the market?
Our clients demand exclusive Mehendi and we don't like to turn down the customers. So we have offered in-house training to our team so that they can meet our clients' expectations and keep up with the growing demands.
Generally, Mehendi artists don't share their ideas and designs with other artists. But we firmly believe that this art has become immortal just because it had been taught and shared since generations. One woman making another woman feel beautiful, look beautiful, will never go out of style. And we make this happen thanks to our exclusive Mehendi design.
Capitalizing on Mehendi's universal appeal, Jyoti Chedda Mehendi is making the craft mainstream with its rich range of intricate designs, some of which define tradition and others of which delightfully defiant. And if its growing roster of staff, students and satisfied clients serve as any indication, Jyoti Chedda Mehendi is successfully furthering both the art and the commerce of this most ancient beauty practice that's been cherished for generations.
A study by the UN last year showing that wearing an appropriate helmet can increase the chances of survival of its user by 42%. Despite those statistics, most people in India do not prefer to wear a helmet. In this scenario, Ahmedabad-based Batios is ensuring that not only are people wearing its helmets, but also understanding the importance behind wearing one. Shubhangi Sinha has the story for you. Take a look.
If you were to ever ask a passionate biker of the importance of his bike and associated accessories, you'd be left with little doubt about the necessity of comfort, safety and usability to align for him. With the recent push towards wearing safety helmets for riders across the country, Ahmedabad-based company Batios is able to ensure that the experience for helmet wearers is pleasant and practical at the same time. Founded by Deep Thakkar and Priyank Vasa last year, this bootstrapped venture has been able to sell over 30,000 units so far. Deep, I understand you're not a biker yourself and you've started a product which really helps helmet wearers have a better experience. So what was the inspiration behind starting Batios?
Actually, I personally didn't like helmet wearing experience because there was so much sweating inside helmet. There's bad smell inside helmet due to sweat, and once the helmet gets dirty, it damages the hair. So I wanted to improve that experience. So I thought, now since I want to improve the experience, I myself have to make the product, since there was no solution in the market that was offering this solution. Actually, our vision at Batios is that we want to improve helmet wearing experience by such great extent that people willingly wear helmet themselves rather than being enforced by law officers just to avoid fine.
What do you think is the contribution of technology for a small company who's just starting out on something absolutely new like you did? How have you been able to integrate technology to make your product, your quality much better?
How we have integrated technology is precise, high quality cutting is possible because of technology. If we want to seal the multiple layers of Hair Guard Pro, we are able to seal it from border, and we are able to do that because of the amazing machineries that are imported from European countries. And since Priyank is very well experienced in manufacturing, he is able to pull off the production without much wastage in line.
Right, so talking about sales and taking your point forward then, when you entered the market, like you mentioned before, there was no predecessor who had done something similar. So essentially, you did not really have a yardstick to be able to price your products. How is it that you think a person who's trying to get into a new market or a new industry can perhaps price his products? What are the 2 or 3 things he should look out for?
We went to our customers, potential customers, before introducing in the market. We showed them the product. See, this is the product. These are the alternatives in the market. This much you have the buying power. This much you are spending for your bikes or two-wheelers. And they said we want it in range of 40 to 60 rupees. Hence we priced our product initially 45, now 50 rupees.
Right, so talking about cost and manufacturing then, a lot of smaller companies or entrepreneurs may not have the capability to have an independent infrastructure for manufacturing. So how is it that you're carrying out your manufacturing, and do you have any tricks up your sleeve?
Yes, a very, very important tip for startups is that you don't need a 1 crore, 2 crore facility to manufacture your product. It's waste of money. I believe that they should go for job work. They should procure their material. They should have tight control how the product is manufactured. They can use an existing facility, manufacturing facility. If some changes are required, they can adjust that, and they can manufacture their product there.
So I understand that you've gotten a patent for this design. So how important to your mind is it for a smaller company or a trader to understand the importance of intellectual property rights?
First of all, when you are building something new, it takes a lot of hard work. You don't know anything about that product. There's a small idea in your mind that this can be done, this solution is possible. So suppose you are working from that idea to building a final product, it's a very difficult journey and full of challenges. So if you are building something great, you should be able to protect it for a certain period of time so that the effort that you have invested in it, you would get returns for that. There are 3 small steps. First is check on Google whether a similar product is there in market. If there isn't any product, don't just look for Indian part, check if such products exist in any other country or not. If you yourself aren't able to find their similar product, you can go to a good attorney. You can say to him, who is trustworthy, you can say him that this is the idea, this is the product that we are building, can you do a patent search? It's called patent search. They would be charging you 3,000 to 4,000 rupees. You can go for that, and once they are back with the results, they would be saying yes, it's not being registered anywhere or nor anyone has applied. You can then move ahead to the 3rd step, that is actually filing a patent, and I would suggest you hire a good trustworthy attorney.
Right, so let's talk about government policy for a bit. We've entered the GST era now, and I think that's going to definitely impact your industry as well. So what do you think are the few things that you can probably keep in mind while trying to cope with the new regime?
Actually, GST is very beneficial for us. Since we go for job work at a factory, earlier excise was charged to us, which was not there as input tax credit. Now with GST coming in, we are able to get full credit of the tax charge by the manufacturing facility to us. So since we are able to get full input tax credit, we are able to pass on that benefit to our retailers, and since we are able to pass on the benefits to our retailers, now they are much more interested because of the higher margins that they get.
So what are the next few years looking like for you at Batios?
Since our mission is to improve the helmet wearing experience, we are at the 2nd phase. First phase was HairGuard, 2nd is HairGuard Pro. 3rd version which we are building, which will take it to another level, in which the helmet wearing experience would be much more better, and we are working on it. It would take approximately a year and a half for that product. So right now we are very much satisfied with HairGuard Pro, and the 3rd version would be there in a year and a half.
With consumers raving about the patented HairGuard Pro from Batios Solutions, this made in India product may just be able to make riders who cringe at the thought of messed up hair and the characteristic stench of helmets, in fact embrace this crucial safety measure happily.
Completely out of time on this episode of Leaders of Tomorrow. If you have anything that you want to say to us or you want to be featured here on the show, you can write in at leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com. Tweet at me personally on Sunanda_J on Twitter or on LOT_ET now on Facebook. Leave your comments on Leaders of Tomorrow and ET now, or call us on that number you see on your screen. We love hearing from you. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.